We don't have a ticket yet.
It's all good, man. Do your thing. I mean, I love that you guys are doing your thing, man.
This is awesome. Mr. Bailey, welcome to the Pals Podcast.
Well, it's good to be here. Yeah. It's good for you guys to have me here.
Do you want to go by Mr. Bailey, Donovan?
No, listen, Donovan.
The fastest man in the world.
Donovan, no, I'm definitely not the fast man right now. I had that title one time, but not right now.
Well, Donovan, thanks.
Sorry, I was going to say on that title, we kind of want to jump right in. You had that title at one point. There was a big meet with you and somebody here at Skydome.
It wasn't really a race. It was never. But it wasn't. It was never going to be a race. I mean, I think that there's a big takeaway that people don't really understand. So, Michael and I were never going to run 100 meters, and he had a chance. There's zero chance of that. But I think the 150, the takeaway from that was that it was the first athlete-owned competition. So it's kind of like Mayweather Productions or Golden Boy. Yeah. So I think we're probably the only professional track athletes ever who actually owned our event.
Yeah.
So that's and of course we got paid very well. So
for sure.
Yeah.
And how did this come about? So I mean, just even to back up, because I mean, obviously everyone listening and we know about it, but like you guys self-promoted it through the event, planned it, all that. Like, how did it come about?
Well, I think it came about the fact that I broke the world record in Atlanta, and he broke the 200. I broke the 100 meters, and he broke the 200 meters. And I think there's a couple of the media types thought that because he'd ran I think he'd ran 9.6 on the last 100 meters or the first. He had run 9.6 anyways at some point in the last 200 meters. They thought, oh well, if he had ran the 100 meters, then he would have been the fastest guy. But that's really like really dumb math. Yeah. Because so when you're out of the blocks, they call it like a fly 100 meters. Mm-hmm. So his fly 100 meters was 9.6. My fly 100 meters was 8.8, right? Which is what I ran in the relay. So I don't know who was doing the math or who thought it was going to be a race. Yeah. Right. So, but it was never going to be a thing. But again, I respect Michael, man. I mean, he's done some incredible things on the track, and he's certainly, like a Hall of Fame and good guy in this event.
Yeah. I just have one question. You said the fly, which means that's not when you're not at the blocks, when you kind of get going your 100-meter distance, right. And you said in the relay you hit 8.6.
Yeah. Yeah, so what happens? It's like you get a running start.
Yeah.
Yes, you get a running start.
Because I remember watching that. I mean, we're a little bit young for seeing it, but we've watched it over and over.
Thank God for Google for you young punks, man.
YouTube saved us.
YouTube and Google for you guys.
But that run was...
and even watching the kind of some of the documentaries that happen from him, you watch and you almost think like Mayweather... McGregor. Right. It's like that kind of sense that the competition, two of the best athletes.
But that's what it was. That's what it was. And I think that I mean, one of the things when I talk to like other athletes, when I talk to like Carl Lewis or Linford Christie or guys who are phenomenal back in the day, one of the things that we're all envious of is the fact that you all have like social media now.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that the 150 led every news broadcast around the world, man.
Yeah.
So at that point, I mean, if I had Twitter or Instagram, I mean, I had 100 million followers, man. It was like it was
the biggest thing.
Ask your parents.
Well, no, they know you were joining us today, and
that's awesome.
Yeah. They were like, "Oh, you know about the race, right?" Like, we obviously know about the race.
Well, funny. You talk about some of the media stuff, and one thing we didn't really know until digging into it is, kind of the stuff that was going back and forth with the newspapers and taking out some articles and kind of stoking the fire a little bit. When I mean that is like the modern day examples, Mayweather McGregor, but you guys were kind of like, I can't think of another example back then that was like that, like that rivalry, animosity, that hype and everything.
There was not. Listen, the only thing, funny enough, the only thing that you can compare it back in those days to was a Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, and it was actually geared to be that way because you had it was one-on-one. I mean, the 150 in the event in Toronto, you had the top two best athlete in each event. Going head to head. So it was amazing, great promotion. And I mean, I think that there was, I guess there's some sort of media driven dislike between Michael and I. I mean, I like the guy. I don't know how he feels about me. We'll leave it at that.
Well, we'll leave that one out. You mentioned both you guys were coming off, world records, and obviously 96 Atlanta Olympics, that iconic photo, you cross the finish line, you won. again, you won't know this, but I think Olympians and specifically gold medalists are the coolest people in the world because you are the individual best at what you do.
To give you some context too, like Ricky's thing, like we're big sports guys, but Ricky's always he's always talked about, they're the best of the best. And I remember him saying to me, he's like, who was the best in like Canadian sports that we can get on this show? Oh. And he's like, he messaged me, he's like, I'm gonna get Don Bailey. I'm like, you're crazy.
You are crazy. You are crazy. I can't believe I'm up here doing this thing. But I tell you what, I mean, I'm always supportive of young cats like you doing your thing. And thank God for COVID because that's the only reason why I'm actually in the country because had the Olympics not been canceled, I'd actually be in Japan right now.
Yeah.
So sorry, just on that, and I know we cut Ricky off. I know he wants to talk, bring that back up. But if you were in Japan, like, do you go as an ambassador to Canada? Do you go for like business or just kind of you just go?
You're hosting,
well, a couple of things. One, I'm an ambassador to the Tokyo Games.
Oh.
And number two, and this is the most important stuff, I'm an analyst for CBC. So I mean, I still get a chance to sit in studio and get my hands dirty and take a look at and critique, criticize, support all the young athletes that are competing now. Yeah. So I mean, I get to see these guys and I get to cheer them on from within the studio. So I'm cheering them on with other people watching me cheer them on. So
and you're also, it keeps you involved in the sport a lot more too, right?
Always. I mean, but that's the thing. I mean, you always have to be able to. I think this is of any sport. I mean, I know that like Steve Nash is always involved with Basketball Canada, and certainly Wayne with hockey. So I mean, I think it's always good for like the elder statesmen, and also, I mean, we're all ambassadors of our sport. So it's always good to just keep your hands there and get to talk to some of the young kids and also see the talent, help them if you can.
Yeah, I mean, mentor them a bit. Yeah,
we have all the wisdom that there's nothing that no new athlete is ever going to go through that we haven't gone through already. So yeah, it's always good to give back.
Yeah, I agree. Back to my question.
Yeah,
I've been thinking about this one. So again, you cross the finish line. You won. Take us what was going through your mind at that time. You just that iconic photo.
You know what? Not a whole lot, man. I think that, I mean, I'm going to tell you two things. I look back at I looked at the clock. I knew I won at probably about 70 meters, and I was just trying not to panic, because when you panic a lot of times, your body, like your speed and momentum slows down. Because your diaphragm's not high enough. This is all the technical stuff.
Yeah. This is the stuff us regular people don't know.
Slow guys don't know.
Right, the diaphragm's not high enough, because what you do in track and field, when you accelerate out of the blocks and you hit top speed, like I would be like 6'6" or 6'7". So I'm basically flying through the air, and I'm cycling underneath. So I'm cycling underneath my torso, so it's high enough. And so I'm trying not to panic at 60. So when I crossed the line, I just looked over at the clock and I just saw 9.8, and I thought, oh yeah, I broke the Canadian record. So I wasn't even thinking where. So all I saw was 9.8, and then I looked back away, and then I knew there was a whole bunch of Canadians that were sitting right at the end of the finish line, and that's the picture. So I'm like, yeah.
That's the look coming across the line.
Yeah.
I mean. But how did, and I'm going to ask, and this is probably a stupid question, because at the end of the day...
Never a stupid question.
But I know you won because you're...
Always been asked before, one of the two.
But at 60 meters, like, how do you know? Because I remember, like, I've watched that over and over. We both have. You came out the blocks. You were probably the last one out of the block, or one of the slower ones.
I was the second last person on
the
blocks. Well, again, everyone can run.
Yeah.
And what makes our sport like the simplest, but most technically difficult sport in the world is because everyone can do it. And so when I came out of the blocks, I knew that my top speed was faster than everybody else in the field. Very much like Usain Bolt.
Okay.
So if Usain came out, like Usain has ran incredible time because he's actually had a good start.
Okay.
But if he had a terrible start like me, then he'd probably run less. I mean, I'd never wish that on him, but but again, the times that he's ran, it means that he's just come out of the blocks equal to those guys. Okay. I knew that if I stayed in my phases, if I accelerated and I hit top speed, I was going to pass those guys, because I've been doing it all year. I think that also it's probably important for your audience to know that like track and field is the most popular professional sport around the world. So so I'm traveling. I've been to 189 countries, and all of them they're
189.
189. And so and this
crazy.
So
that's almost all the world.
Almost. There's like, I think it's 220 countries. But I'm saying to you that so a lot of times we're fans of tennis and golf. So we're in all of those countries, like we're everywhere.
Yeah.
So there's always a track meet and there's a professional competition. So I had seen all the guys. So that being said, at the Olympic Games, there's never any surprises. There's some guy's not going to hop out of the stands, put shoes on, and break the world record. So so the 8 guys that line up, you would have met them before. You'd have seen them before at a professional competition. Like I said, if you think of sprinting or professional track, just think tennis or golf, because it's the same thing. It's not a team. This is just the same thing.
It's the individual sport.
Individual sport, and there's meets. There's no country that doesn't have a track meet. None.
Well, it's a universal sport, right? You don't even need shoes to do it. I mean, anybody, anywhere can do it.
Well, that's what makes it truly a world. When you say I'm the world champion or I am the Olympic champion, because every single country, whether a guy's running 2 minutes for the 100 meters, they're gonna send.
That's like what I run, like 2.5 minute 100 meters.
I don't think you're that slow, but yeah, I mean, there's some guys there's some countries that send athletes there and they're running like literally 11, 12 seconds, 14 seconds. I mean, one of the things I used to do at the game when I was competing, my sponsor was Adidas. So some of those guys didn't even have shoes, and they made it to the games.
They're in the Olympics.
Yeah, so just go and hand them shoes, man. It's great. Wow. I mean, ultimately, sprinters from every country would be like the number one guy. The biggest fans are actually not the fans. It's actually those guys who are running, because you're like, oh my God, like they literally sleep outside of your room for like 2 days just to meet you. And then they're going to compete against you. Like
a couple days later,
Yeah. Stupid. But,
you gotta psych the opponent out. You can't just give in and pander to them, right?
But they know they have no chance.
I love it.
It's always good.
You mentioned competing all over the world. What's one event outside of the '96 Olympics that really stood out to you?
Well, there's no one event. That's what I'm saying to you. They are, so the Diamond League, for instance, right now is a professional league that happens in Europe. There, any year you can go to Zurich, Lausanne, Nice, Monaco, Paris, Budapest, Russia. I mean,
everywhere,
Italy. You go any. I mean, there's a professional track meet held in all those, South Africa, Australia, Qatar. So I mean, in the Caribbean, there's a couple of meets. There's a couple of permit competitions in Canada. Harry Jerome's in Vancouver. So yeah, I mean, like if you know the industry, it's great. I mean, probably the favorite place that I used to compete at was Berlin. Jesse Owens, 1936. It's the same stadium.
Oh wow.
So it's really good to go and compete there. I love Greece.
That's my place.
Really? That's his country.
Love Greece, man.
That's my place.
We got a spot in Kifisia. But we'll
come on.
Yes.
Okay, we'll talk about that off. Yeah. We can't let people know.
But I mean, we went there. I've gone.
You just made his day, by the way.
Yeah, honestly, I'm like very like
love Greece. Love Greece and Italy. Love it.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. We got them both covered.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. One of my favorite places to run also is Rome.
Yeah.
The Grand Gala in Rome. So I mean, Greece, Athens. Fantastic.
Beautiful. Eh?
Yeah.
Were you there? Did you go in 2004?
Yeah, I was there working. I was there with CBC.
Okay.
I was there with CBC and BBC. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what did you think of it? Like the way it was.
I was in Greece last year. What do you mean? What I think of?
We were there last year. When were you there?
Porto Heli. I was there last year. I was just
Porto Heli. My cousins, my brother's godparents got a place out there.
Yes, I was there at the Amman Resort, and I was hanging out.
Oh, okay, I know what you're talking about. Amman's like right up here.
I love Greece. That's what I'm telling you. I love it.
Well, listen, if you're ever out there, you let me know. We got some connections.
My brothers, my Greek brothers. Yeah, it's all good. It's all good.
Go ahead, Rick.
So I was gonna say, once kind of the Olympics, that '96 happened, you're on top of the world. Then '97, we know the fastest man alive. What was next after that? Did you say, you want to stay involved in the sport? You want to go more hosting on the television, radio side of things? What was next for you?
I think one of the things you do as an athlete, especially as an individual athlete, that the competitive spirit never dies in your head.
Dies, yeah.
But you also know that, one, I had injuries.
Yeah.
And also you're getting old.
Your body can't keep up. Yeah. Body can't keep up to the mind.
Even right now, it can't, right? so I think that in individual sport, you kind of understand that the transitional times are coming. I mean, when I think of all my friends who play team sports, whether it's hockey, basketball, baseball, football, I mean, they're like, man, you guys are living good because, if you have a bad day, you can get hidden in the team.
9 other guys picking you up.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But in track and field, it wasn't like that. So I ruptured my Achilles in the fall of 1998. And basically, when I try to explain this, it's like driving a car and you have like one flat tire. So my body on the right side of my body, everything is cycling and everything's going very well, and then on the left side of my body, like it'll go and then it almost like it hits a pothole.
You can feel it.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean,
but you can still run, you can still go, but you feel it.
Right, and there's a precision, and what happens is almost like it's like you start up and you're accelerating, and then almost like you hit a pothole. Or you hit a dip, so your speed is going to come down, and then also what that's doing is damaging my hip, my knee, my shoulder, your neck,
everything else.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that when I wanted to retire in Canada. I actually wanted to retire in Sydney, but I had ruptured my Achilles already. But I got sick in Sydney, and then we got awarded the World Championships, which was held in 2001 in Edmonton. So I'm like, this is the greatest thing in the world, man. So I got to so the greatest thing about my career is that I started it in my national. I started being on the national team in 1991. I retired in 2001 in Edmonton. Still the fastest Canadian, even that year, with one leg.
Wow.
So I retired in 2001, man, in front of home. And it's been great since then. So it's just been business then, and trying to live and being a dad and enjoying the good weather in Canada when it is, and then
the 3 months of the year.
And then I'll leave to go to Jamaica as soon as it gets cold.
That's it.
Yeah. Are you go out there every year through the winter and stuff like that, or are you back and forth?
Yeah, so I go out for the winter, but I still do a ton of appearances, and speeches. And of course, my business partners and endorsers, we still have an amazing relationship. So I have to fly in to come and do those things physically. Yeah. Before the pandemic, I'd fly in and do all those things. So yeah, I'm in Jamaica, but I certainly come back I used to do 3 weeks there. And then we'll book 1 week where I come in and I'm busy, and then back to the sunshine.
Go back and then relax and take it easy and all that.
Relax. Yeah, I'm trying to play golf, but I'm not doing. I mean, I'm getting beaten up every weekend.
You're a big golfer?
Okay, I love golf. It's definitely frustrating when you show signs of brilliance.
Yeah.
And then, you hit that hole.
Yeah.
And that hole crushes you. Right. Yeah. But I love the game. And I mean, it's definitely one of the great equalizer because it doesn't really matter how big or strong you are.
Yep.
Because I'm getting beaten by, my 350-pound, 5'4" friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So
100%.
it doesn't matter. So yeah, but it's excellent to get out. And especially right now, even with social distancing and stuff, I think it's amazing that we can get out and do that.
Yeah. I was actually just playing right before this. I got 9 holes in and the rain came down, kind of cut it
awesome.
short. Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was a lot of fun.
What are some things that people wouldn't know about you? So you're an avid golfer. What are some other things that the average person might not know?
You know what? I think that, first of all, me doing this, like me actually showing up and doing something like this,
Yeah.
Which I love, right? I love when there's young entrepreneurs, guys that take a chance. I love that.
And sorry to cut you off. When we started this from the get-go, I'm like, we're going to get him. And I don't know. For the people listening, I must have DM'd your Instagram account once a week and erase it, send it again, erase it, send it again, double like it, send it back. And then I got the response. I was like, heck yeah, we got it. That perseverance.
You got it, man.
I said, I got to get him. I got to get him.
No, you got it. No, listen, I love this. I love the fact that you guys are doing this. And as I said to you earlier, thank COVID because it wasn't. I
something good came out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be here. But things that, I tell you what, sometimes people think that I'm all a business also. I think that because the cameras, I live my life in a fishbowl. the camera's always on me, like at the Olympic Games. So people are like, oh man, he's serious. I mean, I'm serious all the time. Yes, I'm deadly serious, and I could get serious like that.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I'm just this. I'm laid back.
Yeah.
I'm easygoing. I wanna get out and hang out with the fellas and have a good cigar.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, I want to get out and play golf, and that's pretty much it. And also when I was younger, and now like I'm an old hip hop head. I mean, I listen to a lot of old hip hop. That's part of my thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's lots of little things that people don't see. Because they'll always gravitate. Oh yeah, I saw him run. Oh yeah, look, he looks real serious.
Not smiling, not
and the angry face.
Saw that. Yeah. Do you think that? I mean, it's been now quite a few years since you ran it, and obviously living your life the
2001.
spotlight. Yeah.
All that time.
19 years.
No.
We were born. In
I got
the 90s,
grays in my hair.
Yeah.
I got grays.
But was it like that whole time to now? Was it like the whole time was always in that fishbowl, always like tiring, always got to be on because the people are watching or the cameras? Or has slowly now, that people say, hey, he's just a normal guy. Like he was a world's fastest man, but he has all these other things going now. Has it subsided a bit, or is it still you're always kind of like in that spotlight?
I first of all, I think that being serious is a part of me. Mm-hmm. So I don't need to actually turn something on. So I've always been, I think sometimes I've made people uncomfortable because I'm so comfortable. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right. So it's pissed off people. I'm certainly pissed off people.
Okay.
In 1996 when I was talking about racism and people got pissed off. I'm like, hey man, it happens. Mm-hmm. I don't know why you guys don't want to talk about it. But everyone's like, oh, no, it doesn't happen. I'm like, yeah, it does. That's why we actually, there's a movement right now where there's people trying to make sure that, listen, blacks aren't fighting against whites or anybody else. It's just blacks against racism. We just want to make sure that there's a level playing field for everybody.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've never really been like some guy that had to turn it on.
Yeah.
So I was always comfortable in front of the camera or behind the camera because I was always the same guy. So I think that that's also something that people have learned over the years that, hey man, that guy, that could be him. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
He could be a little tight.
Yeah.
But also the guy smiling or the guy signing autographs or the guy will sit and take photos and hang out with fans for hours. Yeah, that's the guy too.
Yeah. Well, I will say, listen, you seem like a super nice guy, and I'll say, like, when you're coming on, we're like, man, I wonder, is he gonna be like really serious, like the way he won, like coming all slow?
Yeah,
you can see that for sure.
I think it's very important for me if I'm trying to get a message out. I think it's important to be serious, but also I think that sometimes when you get a message out, you also have to do it within your own personality, and part of my personality is just to chill.
Yeah.
It's just to chill and hang out.
You just have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
What's a typical day look like for you? Like obviously pre-COVID, what's your like a typical day or week look like?
Well,
some of the people might not know, but you just got back in the gym after 20 years now, 19 years.
Yes,
You're still looking fit, but
I don't look pregnant anymore.
What's a typical day look like?
Well, I think pre-COVID, first of all, the Olympics, I'd be extremely busy. It's this year the Olympics would have been happening. As I said to you guys earlier, I would have been in Tokyo right now, or I would have been preparing for broadcasts out of CBC downtown Toronto, and certainly it would be a ton of media and a lot of appearances. So it'd be, whether it's speeches, autograph signing sessions, going to see fans, being in Japan, going to see fans, being in Europe, Asia, going to see fans and doing appearances. It'd be a lot of that. So that's what most of my days look like that.
That's like go.
Yeah, it's always go. Always go. And that's the other thing. I actually, the idea of going 100 miles an hour is really comfortable for me. I don't know. You guys look like you look like you have a lot of energy. So it's kind of like so if it's slow and monotonous, it's like, oh man, this is crazy.
Yeah.
I need to like
the fast pace.
As soon as you get up and get going, it's like, okay, let's get the, yeah. So I'm always used to that. So I'm always used to. For me, it's business first, and of course I've got family and friends and travel. So pre-COVID, this would have been like the
busiest time of the year for you.
This would have never happened. This would have never happened. You guys would have to come and find me in Tokyo, man, or
Hey, we've been out there actually. We went a couple of years ago. We went with like our families went
2 years
down.
ago, yeah.
Amazing city, but we would have somehow found you.
Yeah.
We would have snuck in.
Ricky would find a way. That guy always got away.
Well, you know what's funny? I just Track Canada. I think they just had a big sale with all their, I guess, a lot of their merch and gear. So I bought a jacket, a sweater. It shows up to my house, and my mom's like, "You literally," like, I put it on. I'm like, "How do I look?" She's like, "You look like you could be in the Olympics."
Perfect.
I'm like, "Man, that's it. That's my ticket." I'll just print off a little badge. So you can, what sport are you? No,
Yeah, I don't
Underwater bowling.
there we go. There we go. Yeah, I can hold my breath. I'm good.
So now that the Olympics are postponed, just on that topic, I mean, is there any indication that they push them just to next year and it's going to continue? I mean,
So what the IOC, the international governing body, which
Yeah.
is the International Olympic Committee, what they've done and agreed with the IAAF and the International Amateur Athletic Federation and also the Tokyo Olympic Games. I think that they've pushed it a year. We don't know what it's going to look like. Which is what's real scary. I mean, I don't know. I can't imagine what the Olympics is going to look like without fans.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying for someone who's competed in 2 Olympics and also, being a part of a broadcast of the Olympics, it's scary that like the vortex of fans and the energy in the stadium is just it's a next level thing, man. So I don't even understand what that's going to look like. So I kind of feel sorry for like Andre and Aaron Brown and a lot of these young Canadians and a lot of the other young sprinters around the world, what it's going to look like. So I'm hoping, I think that we all are, for sure. But we're hoping that there's some solution, to the pandemic. And so you can get back to a place where the Olympics can be broadcast and also the competitors can get back in and compete in an environment where it's like normal, I guess. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
Right, because I'm a fan of basketball and I'm a fan of sports, period, as you all know that. And I'm watching even the preparation of the Raps getting ready to play in Orlando and I'm like, what is this gonna look like? I mean, I'm watching rugby from Australia. Or Australian rules football. And I'm looking at this and I'm going, so I've been to all these games and I've watched, I've been to all of these games in all of these places and it's always like packed to the rafters. And again, it's just really weird for me. It's very weird for me to think about something like think about
empty sands.
Are you guys think about college football in the States?
Yep.
It's right up our alley.
115,000 people.
We went to the big house. Yeah.
Right.
We were in Michigan this past year in October.
115.
And you're sitting not
112.
like you're on top of each other. It's just like bleacher seating too.
Right.
So it's not like you have your own space like maybe in Scotiabank Green. Like you're on top of each other, packed in.
Right.
So I don't know what that's. But even to your point that, like the track and field events are notoriously are known to be the biggest events, and typically right near the end, right? Like and the 100-meter is like the pinnacle. Yeah. And maybe some of the swimming, but the 100-meter.
No, not the swimming.
Not
the
100 meters.
There's absolutely no competition.
The 100-meter relay.
The 100 meters. That is the pinnacle of all Olympic games.
But that's the point is that like when anyone's running that,
right?
The fans do have an involvement, like having the energy in the stadium like that matters. Like
where in what sporting event on the planet do you have 100,000 people and someone says on your marks and it's just
and that's it.
That's it. I mean, there's
chills, man. Holy shit!
There is nothing like it. There's nothing like it. I always tell. I've got some incredible, successful friends who like to go to sporting events, and one of the things I say to them is, you must go to the Olympics, but not only go to the Olympics. Go to watch the real man do some things, which simply means that you have to get to the 100 meters and get to the 100-meter finals. Like there is nothing in the world. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. And I've probably been to every major sporting event on this planet, but there's nothing like it. And I'm saying I competed in it. I understood like when you're competing, you're in your own world. Like it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
But when you watch it, there's nothing like it. So yeah, I always say that to people.
I was going to say it's probably the most exciting 9.84 seconds in the world, in history of sports.
Not for me. I mean, I was a little upset. I ran that slow, but it is what it is.
Slow.
Yeah. Well, it was based upon what my coach thought that going into Atlanta, I was ready to run 9.71.
Wow.
Yeah. So I had Had a terrible
7-1 would
start.
have still stood today.
No. The Bolt it's 58 now.
It's 58. Okay.
Yeah. But it was just Bolt.
Yeah.
This-
Just him. Just him.
Yeah.
Well, actually, on that note, like, if you match you guys up and look at how his stature and how he runs it, and you, like, I mean, your frames look different, your size, the style of running, and is there a reason why, like, he was able to beat it? I mean, when you were running, it looked like powerful running. When him, it just looks super. I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it looks very different.
Well, I mean, you saying it's just a different. First of all, we never compare because it's just a generational
Yeah.
thing. When I ran, technical things were different. I mean, right now you've got better tracks, better spike plate, better shoe, better surfaces, better training.
Yeah.
Nutrition.
Like everything changes. So no matter what, there's always going to be bigger, stronger, faster as any sport evolve. But you saying was just a special guy. He's 6'6".
Yeah.
He could get out of the blocks, and then when the big motor gets going, man, he just gaps you.
Yeah.
So it didn't really matter. But again, one of the reasons why he's obviously set the standard into where it is today was because he was so good. But also not only that. He ran fast, but but like I did when I competed, we both transcended the sport.
Yeah.
So you want to get in, have fun with the fans, entertain a little bit. Like you knew why you were there.
Yeah.
And so that's why he's incredible at what he's done, and that's probably why he's definitely the greatest. I mean, he definitely is the GOAT.
Whoa. Man, I don't know about that.
No, but he is. I mean, he's the fastest guy for sure.
To jump back, you said your coach said you could do 9.77s.
7-1.
7-1.
7-1.
Sorry, apologies.
Yeah.
And was that based on just with what you thought with your top speed, how you got out, and if everything worked to your favor
Just
that
training.
day? Yeah.
So it's just training. I mean, one of the things I hated watching film of myself. So when Dan was coaching me, it would be a feeling for me. I mean, for me, sprinting was just a feeling. It's kind of like your golf swing. I don't want to watch I don't want to watch something. I don't want to see how I swing. I want to feel how I swing.
Yeah.
So and to me, that's probably learned behavior of my own personal body. Training in at University of Texas, Dan just he just said, "Hey man, you're gonna be all right." So you're gonna be all right means that things are going good.
Okay.
Because there was never Dan and my dad were the two men that didn't really give compliments. They just said, "Hey, listen, you're gonna be okay.
You'd be okay.
You're gonna be okay." Yeah. So yeah, he just thought that, and he told me this later on. He just said, based upon what my calculations were, I had you at 9.71. So it's okay.
What was your training looking like leading up to this? Is it you're on the track 6 days a week, 7 days a week, weight training, mornings, or what's again, I don't know much about running. I'm not a runner, but what's a typical training regimen look like for yourself?
And that's what I'm saying to you. It's the exact same as what a golf would be. Exact same as how someone plays tennis would be. So I'd be on the track. I mean, you're not on the track running for 6 hours, right? So certainly you'll take, and for me, because of body mechanics, you'd go through your warm-up protocol, which includes probably stretching every single muscle in your body. I'd probably get a massage. And then I'll do a workout for maybe 45 minutes to an hour. But then you'd leave from that, you go do an hour or 2 hours in the weight room, then physiotherapy. And all of that, I'm eating like every 2 hours. I'm packing on protein.
Probably like 10,000 calories a day.
Well, we don't even know what it was because no, seriously, it didn't matter. I was hungry. There was food.
Yeah.
So we weren't even I competed at between 205 and 209, and there was the calories. No, just
eat. You're hungry.
As
Eat.
long as you're between that.
Yeah,
that's kind of
but we wouldn't. But the thing is, that was just my weight. I didn't. At no point was I going, "Oh my God, I think I'm getting heavy. Let me just step on the scale."
Okay.
I mean, it's not a beauty contest, so it didn't really matter, right? So yeah, everything was structured. So you asked me about the day. The day consists of all of those things, man. I mean, it's basically getting ready and training your body as if you were an F1 car. I mean, that's really what it is. So essentially, you take everything apart, you build it back up, and you tweak things every day, every single day.
Little by little. Was it 7 days? You get a day off? Did the coach say, you worked hard this week?
So yeah,
take this night off, go to the pub.
Yeah. No. So training was 6 days a week. 6 days a week, and then on our for 3 weeks, and then our 4th week it'd be 5 days a week.
Okay. You get that extra one day.
Yeah. But that one day you had to go do something, so you couldn't just sit around and watch TV. And you wouldn't want to anyways. I mean,
No, because you, like you said before, you always want to go,
right.
go.
But you also want to. I mean, I think that it's kind of like, it's almost like you have a Ferrari and you go, okay, today I'm not gonna take it on the track. I'm just gonna take it out for a spin.
Yeah.
Right.
So you're still staying out, staying loose and all that stuff.
Yeah. You got to. You got to
Yeah,
stay
yeah.
loose. Yeah. I mean, you can't. But you can't really park your body and then get up the next day and go through that routine.
Yeah.
Because also one of the things that you have to understand is that every single day, it's no different in any sport, by the way. Every single day that you train really hard, you tear muscle fibers. So that's why it was really important for me to train very hard, but then spend, I'd spend 35 minutes in an ice bath, right? And then physiotherapy. So you're tearing your muscles all day and you're repairing it for you to train the next day again.
To do the exact same thing over again.
Man, the monotonous, boring thing that give you guys 9
But
seconds.
it works. It works.
Give the fans 9 seconds.
That's it.
To give the fans 9 seconds. Yeah, but also, to be the greatest athlete in the world. That's not a bad thing.
No, definitely not at all.
Definitely not.
In my
Actually,
case, yeah.
Did you have any superstitions, any things you did before you got in the blocks, something you did on race day?
Oh, he's laughing here. We got
gotta have
something. We got something.
So, I think for me, I like to feel free. So I had big Sony headphones, so we're in a call area, so it's a private area, and I really just like to kind of just be naked.
Come on.
Heck yeah, people, you heard that.
No, seriously. I mean, I had my headphones, so I'd be naked.
I'm
or
not
just-
the
or
only
just my
one.
jock. Yeah,
Just hanging out.
Just breathe.
anybody
That's all you
asked
got-
that on a show before?
You got to feel free, but there's no cameras there. Thank God.
Nowadays, they'd be like, hey, what's he doing? What's this?
Yeah, well, I'm
So
very
cell
certain.
phones, right?
Yeah.
Everyone.
Well, there would be no cell phones, and it's kind of like it's
Like
our
a
place.
It's just, the 8 athletes.
Yeah.
I want to ask, what was the Olympic Village like back in that? Because we had a couple athletes that tell us kind of today's society what the Olympic Village is like. What was it like back then?
What did they say?
Well, they said it's a lot of partying.
Uh-huh.
Like we had again a couple figure skaters, and
Right.
they competed early on, so they had a couple days after.
Right.
And they said it's like they're basically meeting every other person, just drinking, partying.
That's
and-
fun.
Well, yeah,
exactly.
we don't want to say too much, but
No, listen. So here's what happens. When you're the 100-meter, when I went to Atlanta, I was a reigning world champion, and so if I stayed in the village, it would
No
be
big
a
deal.
massive distraction because, like I said, the greatest fans that I have are from other countries. They're athletes from other countries. So there's actually people waiting at Canada House for me to get there.
well, probably even some of the Canadian athletes.
Well,
at the
there's
time.
tons of Canadian athletes,
Yeah.
but I'm saying to that. So you're like the biggest person going into the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
So I never stayed in the village, right?
Yeah.
However, I do hear that there's a lot of stories.
Yeah.
And I hear that there's reason why Trojan is a massive sponsor is because you have. You have an enclosed place that you have
Everyone
the
who's
greatest athletes with 3% body fat, full of testosterone and estrogen, and you pack them all in one place. So
Stuff's gonna happen.
And they've been
Stuff's
training.
gonna
They've been training hard for 6 months, 8
Right.
months, a year.
Right.
Something's bound to happen.
So whatever you heard, I'm certain that it is, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay, fair.
In '96 and 2000, did you meet any athletes that you still maintain a really strong relationship with?
Well, yeah. First of all, most of my relay guys. I mean, listen, I'm the captain of the squad, man. We've always and our relay team basically is. I mean, undoubtedly for me personally, obviously I'm biased, but we're the best. We're the greatest Canadian team. So we have we had 4 guys in a sub, and we were the #1 team in the planet for 6 years in a row. So yeah, I'm still tight with those guys. I mean, and I think that most track and field athletes, especially ones who have gone on to do media stuff, yeah, we're still tight. I mean, and also with the gram and Facebook. Now the guys are always, hey man, what's up, old man? You're looking fat or whatever. Yeah, so it's all good. We're always talking to really, especially the guys that did did well back then, but it's always good talking to those guys.
Yeah.
Is there one athlete, whether it's during your time, during now, or even coming up in the future, that, and any sport, that you are like really kind of amazed with what they did in their field? Doesn't have to be track, anything.
I'm a basketball head, man. It's gonna be
Okay.
Jordan.
Okay.
I so Michael Jordan, and I had the chance to meet the man, so it's awesome. Also, I met Muhammad Ali. And again, there's no person like the greatest. You know what I mean?
For sure.
So I got to meet both of those guys, and obviously Muhammad Ali because of his boxing skills, but more importantly because of his social march to ensure that there's equality amongst everybody. Michael's dominance in sport, his leadership. A lot of times people always compared our tenacity and our work ethic and the fact that we took no shit. There's always a comparison between Michael Jordan and myself. But I think that those are guys in my time. I definitely love the fact that like LeBron and probably everybody now who has a social platform, is just doing good, man. I love it. Like I said, that's why I'm here with you all. Two young guys trying to do some things and come in, get a show on, get a podcast on, and just make it light and easy. So I like the fact that there are dominant athletes that I support, but also I like the fact that there are incredible young guys that are out there doing good things.
It's good to hear. Yeah. I think just since we're on the topic of basketball, I'll kind of throw this out quickly. What do you, the league?
I was just thinking the same, man.
We're on the same level, brother.
We're on the same path.
What do you think with the bubble coming back with the league restart? You think our Raps have a chance of repeating, or who do you think is going to be who think's the front runner this year?
Okay, so first of all, I just want to make sure that all these guys are healthy because I think that's what we care about, right?
For sure.
Selfish, but I am selfish.
But I
want to watch basketball.
There was 0 positive cases out of the 390 athletes in the bubble. There was 0 positive tests.
I had no idea.
Which is unbelievable.
Which is what we want to hear.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure. Which is what, because I think,
especially as fans, right? We want to see basketball. We want to see sports come back.
I am greedy and I'm selfish. I want to see basketball. I tell you, and I've said it all year. I actually said this to Masai, actually. There's a lot of people that are sleeping on the Raps, man. There's a lot of people. But I like it. That's what I'm saying. There's a lot. Everyone's like, oh, well, Lakers and
Clippers,
everybody.
Yeah.
Lakers, Clippers,
Milwaukee,
whomever, right? Milwaukee, even like Boston, like whoever. Philadelphia. I'm like, man, there's a lot of people that are sleeping on the Raps. So I'm going to say that I think the Raps are going to go and repeat.
I love it.
Yeah, I would not counter it because I agree with you.
Right.
Like we're both diehard Raps fans.
Yeah. Well, you have to.
For sure.
Canada's basketball team.
100%. I grew up, I remember, I don't really remember it that well, but 95 was my first game. My parents took me to one of the opening days at Skydome at the time.
Right.
And been with them ever since. But just one fact on the why I think the Raps will repeat is that I think all season this year they had maybe 7 games or something like 7 or 12 games with a full squad. Yeah. Gasol just dropped like, I don't know, 20 30 pounds.
Yeah.
Guy looks like he's ready to be a bodybuilder or something.
Right.
Siakam, probably peak of his game.
Boucher put on some
muscle. I
haven't seen it.
And they're all young, right? All these players are young, finally all healthy. Again, people wrote them off at the beginning of the season because we lost arguably one of the best players around right now.
But the
best player, but that's okay.
But that's okay because
it's a team
Siakam
sport,
only got better. Freddie only got better.
Right.
Some of these other guys, they worked on their game, lost some weight, put on some pounds. So I got a good feeling about that.
No, I think that there's a lot of people sleeping. And this is a good thing because we get to watch this again.
Yeah.
So, there's a lot of people sleeping. But, man, I would not – it would be a horrific thing that I would not vote for the Raps. Diehard Raps fan, and I think there's a lot of people sleeping on them.
Yeah.
And I think they might shock the world.
That'd be incredible.
Keep talking about Raps and basketball. Vince Carter. I'm sure you guys probably crossed paths. He was arguably one of the biggest names in basketball in Canada. You're one of the biggest names in Canadian sports history. So what was it like meeting him? Kind of, you guys were almost at the peak together.
Yeah, you know what's really cool about Vince is that
and he just retired too, which is such a shame that this is what kind of ended his career.
It would have been awesome if he could have retired in a Raptors uniform, wouldn't it?
Yeah, just
I thought he was, to be honest. I thought Messiah was
all
going to make.
thought.
I thought Messiah was going to make that trade for him or sign him his last year.
Well, you never know. I mean, there's still time.
So hey, he can come back. He can come back.
Hey man, if Gronk came back, Vince can come back.
That's honestly a great point. That's a great point.
So you know what? I think that Canada, well, Toronto in the '90s was just an amazing time for sports, and I love to see that we've matured into like a real mega city now. You know, so where we have, you know, the Blue Jays were there and they're doing, they're
92, 93, yeah,
right. And then I came along, but then Vince was toiling with the Raptors, then and Vince was probably one of the most athletic basketball players to ever play the game. I mean, really. So he did some amazing things to kind of help put the Raptors on the map, and it's so good to kind of set that standard that allowed Kawhi and Lowry and DeRozan and all them guys to come in right now and to help with the championship. But yeah, it definitely started with Stoudemire, started with Vince. You know, I mean, you know, I had a conversation with Isaiah Thomas a couple of days ago, and he as an owner, him and John Bittoff, when they all came in and brought those guys in, it just kind of set. It's just really good when you can look at how mature it is right now, and how MLSE is doing such an incredible job, and Masai just being an incredible leader. You know, where the mature squad is right now and where it started. So yeah, shouts out and kudos to Vince. Shout out Vince.
He's probably not listening.
Rick
but
loves a good shout out.
Oh, he'll be listening. But you know, to all those guys to kind of make it happen, to, you know, so the city was able to celebrate the championship.
Well, it's like where it came from. You watch the videos from 95, 96, and they played basically in the corner of the Skydome. They only sold seats for basically half of that area, right? It was like one baseline and one sideline, right? Now
and curtains.
Yeah, and curtains, right? Now you go to the Scotiabank Arena, and it's, you know, slammed to
it's great
tits, right? It's insane. Jurassic Park in the playoffs, like you got 20,000 people outside watching the game, and some days it was still minus.
No city
it's like minus 5.
Great, the basketball has grown exponentially here. And I mean, so, you know, sometimes when I talk to my hockey fellas, man, I'm like, I feel sorry for you guys. Because every single kid, I don't care where they're from, what color they are, nobody's playing hockey anymore. I said,
well,
everyone's
starting to come back. It's starting to come back with Tavares, you know.
No. I'm not saying that. I mean, listen, I'm very pro hockey. Let me get that straight. It's just that I think sometimes it's great to take a piss out of them.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm like, no, seriously, after the Raptors, I'm like, everyone wants the ball.
Fans.
Yeah. Right? And also, you have to see it also on a grassroots level where there are 50 or 60 Canadians playing in the NCAA system.
Yep.
You know, so yeah, I mean, I love where the basketball product is. You know, I love the grassroots program that exists in Canada. I love the fact that you can have all of these, every single kid. You can dribble a ball, become a guard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, the greatest basketball player out of Canada is Steve Nash.
Yep.
You know what I mean? The guy who played soccer from Vancouver, right? So I mean, there's no limitations to what's going on right now, and I think the Raptors, being that it's the only team in Canada, they're putting an incredible product on the court. Marketing is going great.
Oh yeah.
And listen, man. Again, Masai, you can't say enough about that guy doing an incredible job as a GM.
He revolutionized and changed the culture, not just on the court, off the court, in the community, all those things. Like that guy's a leader amongst men.
Right.
But I wanted to jump back to your point, like the grassroots level. That's what I think what the big takeaway is. Like, yeah, hockey. I mean, Toronto's Maple Leafs are the Maple Leafs.
There's always going to be hockey.
Yeah. But I think that, you know, you said with Nash, and then you get guys like Jamal Murray now, and these young guys,
Wiggins.
and
tons
who's his godson in New York Knicks, RJ Barrett.
Right.
So these guys come up, and then now young kids who are 5, 6, 7, 8 years old see the Raps win last year. So yeah, we might not see it yet, but 15, 20 years from now, when guys are going to college and all that stuff, it just grows exponentially.
Oh no, there's a lot now. Funny enough, I mean, here's the thing. So in sports, it's only going to be less than 1% in sports that's ever going to make it to the top. And what I love, even the grassroots today in basketball, is that there's a ton of kids that leave here and go to the NCAA system, or they leave and go play pro and semi-pro in Europe. You know, so I'm just saying to you that the feeder system that exists now for the Raptors is going to be incredible, man.
Oh yeah.
And what's happening is that you're getting Canadian talent.
Yeah.
You know, so I love it. I mean, I think again the product you can't. I mean, don't sleep on the Raps. I'm telling you.
Don't the man himself.
Don't sleep on the Raps, man. I mean, they're gonna be all right.
Okay. So just to kind of circle back, and I know we want to be mindful of your time as well. I know you're we're cutting it close. To circle back, are you still involved? I know you're involved with the broadcasting side and some of the stuff with the Olympics, but are you doing anything with, like, do you still keep active on the track? Do you still go and, watch meets? Do you do anything like that? Do you coach anyone? You see guys, like, any involvement in that sort of space?
I don't think I have the patience to coach yet.
Okay.
You're still going 100 miles an hour.
Well, no, but also I think it's really, I think that I always say that teachers, coaches, like police officers, like essential workers, like nurses and doctors, it takes a special human being to do that. And I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
I don't have the patience to do that. But I think that, my wisdom and knowledge is always available for the kids that are competing now. I mean, like I said, I think I said it earlier. There is nothing that any of these athletes are ever going to go through. Actually, it's any athlete. So any athlete in any sport, there's nothing that they're going to ever encounter that I probably haven't. So I'll always be available to give them some advice, because ultimately I've done this throughout my entire career. I'm sitting there writing an autograph or signing an autograph or taking a photo, and you never really know what's happening in the life of a young kid. And sometimes just by you stopping and saying hello, it could motivate that kid to become an inventor or an engineer or a doctor or a lawyer or the next greatest sprinter or the next greatest hockey player.
That,
you know what I mean?
Harder,
right. Yeah. So I think that I might not be a coach, but I know some incredible coaches, because a lot of times, every day there are parents across the world that will especially online, that will send us proposals to coach, and I'm like, no, but I know an incredible coach in Australia or in South Africa, or in the Caribbean,
Italy,
or in
Greece,
Canada or Italy. Yeah. So we actually have a pretty good network there. But yeah, I definitely don't have the patience to be a coach, but I'm available to give these kids whatever they need.
Awesome. Do you want to just kind of end with the last two questions?
So,
again, thank you so much for coming on. This has been awesome. We got two questions we normally ask, and to be honest, this is the first time where mine's potentially a realistic question now. Okay. So if there is a movie about your life, who would you want to star as you? It could be any actor, old, young, from any point in time. We got him. Nobody's asked you this before.
Yeah, you're right.
And this is realistic too.
I was going to say me, no. But okay, who would be like big and strong and powerful? Maybe Michael B. Jordan.
That was the one I had in my mind. That was the one I had in my mind.
Yeah.
I said it. I'm like, man, Creed.
I actually met him in Toronto. Yeah. He's super
I was going to say that, or even a younger Jamie Foxx.
Listen, Jamie's my boy, man. Jamie's my boy.
Yeah.
Jamie Foxx.
So Jamie 100%.
Yeah.
But if it wasn't Michael B, then it'd be Jamie.
All right.
Michael B. Jamie's my boy, man. That's my people. Right there.
Producers, directors, you hearing this?
Cut the check. Let's go.
I get the casting fee. That's it.
Okay. And I'm gonna fix this. Last question, the one that I ask is, if you could give one piece of advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Wow. Wow. Always. Okay. So one of the things I always say, I should have learned more patience. So I would say, be patient. Be patient, and keep the people that love you close to you.
That's great advice. Beautiful.
That's
a great one. Donovan, honestly, truly a pleasure and an honor to have you, and thank you for making the time. Thank you. I mean,
thank you.
The circumstances.
I don't want to say thanks.
I know.
I don't want to give them a shout out, but
really appreciate it, and I know that people they knew you were coming on. They couldn't wait to hear this, so this is fantastic. If people want to find you, if they want to find out what you're doing, if they want to reach out, where can they find you?
Well, they at Donovan Bailey. I mean, that's
easiest way.
That's the easiest way, man.
We'll share all the social media links.
Yes,
below.
You guys will share all of them.
We'll take care of it. Don't worry. We got this.
Yes.
Anything else before we wrap up?
No, not at all. I mean, just get. I mean, I'll connect with my office, and you guys can share on all platforms. But listen, I'll tell you what. I love the fact, like I said earlier, I love the fact that young entrepreneurs, doing your thing. COVID got me here.
Yeah.
It's been a good time. It's decent weather outside. I'm gonna go out and go find.
Yeah, you're itching to.
There's a friend of mine I gotta go see.
Okay.
Yeah, man. But it's awesome, man, and good luck for real.
Thank you.
You guys are doing a
Appreciate
great
it.
job. And go Raps.
And go Raps.
All right.
I guess that's it.
We'll sign it off there.
Signing off, pals. Cheers.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.